This is a weather briefing recorded from the National Weather Service in Blacksburg at 9 a.m. on Friday, May 20th. The Weather Prediction Center has placed a slight risk for excessive rainfall covering much of the National Weather Service Blacksburg forecast area, primarily tonight into the pre-dawn hours Saturday morning. In terms of the timing, this is the forecast Friday evening. The darker green colors indicate the higher probability of rain falling, and this is when we expect the moderate rain to be arriving into the forecast area, and then it will become more widespread as we get into the overnight hours. This is the forecast for about 2 a.m. on Saturday morning, and you can see that green, the darker green colors encompassing the entire National Weather Service Blacksburg forecast area. By Saturday morning, this area of low pressure starts to transition off the coast, taking the heavier rain with it, and we'll start to see some breaks in the precipitation as early as Saturday morning in the west. Taking a closer look at this timing, here is one computer model's rendition of where the rain will be falling. Again, this is Friday evening. You can see rain starting to cover much of the region with the yellow colors indicating some of the pockets of moderate rain. And then as we go into the overnight hours, notice how the models, at least this model, is focusing on the heavier rain to be located along and on the eastern slopes of the Blue Ridge with the upslope southeast flow. This is where we expect the heaviest precipitation to fall during the overnight hours. And then as we get into Saturday morning, this is the forecast for 8 a.m. You can see the heavier rain is already starting to lift off to the east, starting to exit places like Lynchburg and Appomattox and Buckingham, and the precipitation becomes more isolated and widely scattered by the mid-morning hours on Saturday. So most of this precipitation again will fall during the evening hours Friday into Saturday morning. In terms of how much rain will fall, well, because this system is moving a little bit faster than earlier forecast, we've knocked the rainfall amounts down a little bit to 1 to 2 inches of rain expected to fall through about midday on Saturday. Because of this slightly lower precipitation forecast, now we are not expecting any river flooding to occur in our forecast area, but we will need to monitor these conditions. There will be some nuisance flooding of some creeks and streams and some water collecting in low-lying areas with this 1 to 2 inch rainfall total on top of the saturated grounds that are in place across much of the region. In terms of severe weather, we are not outlooked for severe weather through Saturday. This is the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center for Saturday, and you can see just some general thunderstorms are possible on Saturdays. We get some breaks in the clouds. You may hear a rumble or two of thunder, but no severe weather is expected. So to summarize, nuisance and minor flooding will be possible in some of the streams and poor drainage areas with 1 to 2 inches of rain that is expected to fall this evening through the overnight hours into early Saturday. We will likely see some water covering some roads in the low-lying areas and those typical low water crossing regions. Again, the timing for this is this evening with the heaviest rain falling late this evening into the pre-dawn hours on Saturday, and then we see that precipitation diminish on Saturday morning, becoming more widely scattered and isolated in nature. Our confidence is moderate that a few locations will experience nuisance or minor flooding, but again, a widespread flooding scenario is not expected with this event. And if you should see any water covering the roads or any creeks or streams coming out of their banks, we ask that you relay that information to the National Weather Service through any of the social media links or phone numbers listed on this page. Thank you very much for your time and have a good weekend.